is the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jess.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's go, guys. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm great. I liked our Father's Day special.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a fun little thing. If you guys can check that out on Instagram. We talked about Korean forms. We talked about Father's Day moments. Father's moments in sport karate. Yeah. And it was cool. I got let's see, who was it that messaged me? Julia messaged me, and Plucker was just saying how cool it was that you mentioned that, and she liked that story, and thanks for tagging her.
Did she know what I was talking about?
Yeah. She knew
exactly what I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it was pretty cool. So we had a great time doing that, and of course, like always, we went a little bit longer than we planned, but it was fun.
Yeah. But you know what? We were just talking about this off the cats. Like, I feel like we help each other a little bit. Like, Jeff reins me in so much. Like, guys, for real, the pods would be 3.5 hours plus if Jeff didn't rein me in. And then even I'm trying to be loose, but then not be so structured sometimes. But then I start structuring my looseness, and then Jeff's like, bro, just gotta relax a little bit. But at the same time,
you kind of get the other part.
I bring it out in you.
Yeah, it's true. You got to.
I get you upset sometimes, and I bring it out in you.
That's right. Yeah. That's good stuff.
That part's
man.
cool.
Yeah, it's been a fun road and fun experience, and we're just getting started, man. So it's exciting.
We're getting started. What else is getting started, man? We're in full-fledged summer now.
I know, it's crazy.
But you know what's interesting? So what's the date today? It's the 24th?
Yeah.
Of June. Yeah. And that's about the time when you realize, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. This is summer now.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We're really here. It's summer.
That's right.
So, all right, here's an example. So, my birthday is on the 12th. That always, a lot of times people are like, oh, yeah, we forgot to plan for that thing. Because what is June? I mean, this June is different. Right. June is weddings, graduation parties.
Right.
And,
most people take their first week of vacation around that middle of June. Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
It's just,
It's interesting. All of a sudden, it just flies.
Right. And honestly, right now, I'm like, haven't we had summer for the past 3 months?
Oh, that's a good point.
It's so weird right now. And especially for people that are in the type of business like I am with the karate school, it's most of the time people are gone in the summer. People want to take breaks in the summer. So you just got through this whole break period, and now you're getting hit with it again. It's crazy, man. So, you just got to keep adapting and stuff. But what's one place do you have a place that you always, a trip or something you always do the same one every summer, or you switch it up every year?
Oh, heck yeah. There's a bunch. So there's a few things that we always do in the summer. So trips that I'm a Minnesota guy. And so here's some things. All right. I put my foot in both ends of the pool with this. So where I grew up in Minnesota is a town called Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park is just north of North Minneapolis. Minneapolis has got a certain amount of hood to it. Mm-hmm. That's north. So when you say north in Minnesota, there's two ways you would say north. You say over north or up north. They mean two totally different things. Mm-hmm. Right? You say up north, you're talking about a lake, you're talking about a cabin.
Right.
If you say over north, you're talking about the hood. Right?
Okay. All right.
Just what it was.
Yeah.
You talk about Broadway and Penn. Okay? It was whatever. So I grew up just north of there. So things that I would do in the summer really kind of involve both.
Okay.
Right? But man, I tell you what, nothing broke my heart more than finding out that the Minnesota State Fair is canceled.
It's canceled. Yeah. That's
right. My goodness.
That's right. You told me about that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. It is fantastic. There's people that messaged me that heard about it. And they were like, hey, man. Notable karate people that everybody would know.
Yeah.
They messaged me like, hey, I heard I got to go. And I'm like, heck yeah, you got to go. And they're like, all right, I'm going to go to Minnesota, where should I stay? They're like, well, it don't matter. You're there during that week or 2 weeks because it goes for like 2.5 weeks, I think. So
Right.
like if you're going, it don't matter. Just you're going to the fair, right?
Right.
Just what's gonna happen. So
Correct.
it is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So we do that. But my wife's family, they have a cabin as well. Everybody's got one. So theirs is in Marquette, Michigan, which is on I think it's still Lake Superior, which is right off of, but it's a different kind of lake. It's not like where their cabin is at. There's no shore lake. It's not like beach. It's all rock.
Oh,
and it's,
okay.
Yeah, like my kids go walking out there. Like I pretty much got to carry them out there because they'll freaking break their legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
So
and that's a
different.
fun time. But that's like cabin.
Right.
And like next month we're gonna go to like my uncle's cabin in Perham, Minnesota, which is like it's a whole nother way of living, right? So everybody's got like some kind of thing. I warned my wife the first time we went, and I said, now listen, there's gonna be an accent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't laugh.
Right.
She's like, no, I understand. I'm like, oh, I'm telling you, there's gonna be an accent. Don't laugh. Now I'll try it, but I'm not very good. When I lived in Minnesota, people didn't even think I lived there. Right.
Right.
Like I think I was meant to live in the Chicagoland area at some point because basically that's the kind of personality and the accent that I exude anyway.
Uh-huh.
But they like there's this phrase. There's a bunch of them, and this one. Oh sure, you betcha. That's the thing. I can't even do it really well. I can't. I try, but I'll tell you. How about this?
Oh, man.
I'll name drop this one for a moment. Hey, a lot of people know Troy Sexton. His
Yeah.
wife Katie. Find her on TikTok. Katie Sexton. Her whole shtick is she does that accent better than anybody. I call her Barb. I call her Barb because it's her alter ego and it's fan-freaking-tastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so go check that out. So basically, when you're talking about like the vacations we usually go in,
right?
Outside of the U.S. Open, because that's what we would do, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's going to be Perham, Minnesota. And that's where it's going to be. Yeah.
Cool.
What about you,
that's
man?
Cool. I mean, I do different stuff every year. The past few years, we've gone to Texas because my girlfriend's family lives there. So we would try to do that, every now and then. We've driven it before. We did flights before. So from Virginia to Texas is a long trip.
How long of a drive is that?
21 hours or something like that. Yeah. So it's nuts.
No. It's not even worth it.
Right. It's crazy, man.
Why did you do it?
It's kind of hard with 5 people.
Minute.
Right. Well, with 5 people,
right.
5 people was kind of hard, but we did it last year, and we did it with 5 people with the tickets and stuff. We just planned a little earlier on it, and we've done that same thing to like New Orleans and before too, which is not as much, but still with stopping and it takes a lot longer. Everyone's like, you look it up, and you're like, oh, it's 17 hours or 18 hours on the road. It's more than that.
Listen, of course it's more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm a guy like, I don't care. I'm just going to drive. I'm going to go. All right. Yeah. But you know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to pull over a bunch of times because I'm not going to hear screaming. I'm not, no, I'm not about that. Right.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'll just drive through it. They'll be fine. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill everyone. Right. So I'm going to pull over. So a friend of ours tells us, just drive in the middle of the night.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're like, just get up, drive, hit it at like 2 or 3 in the morning. They're going to be sleeping the whole time anyway.
Yep.
You're going to have 5-6 hours of them sleeping. And I'm like,
that makes sense.
That's freaking brilliant. Except I can't be the one who does this. So like if we drive in the middle of the night, it has to be my wife. And the reason why is my eyes are really, really bad.
Okay.
So, all right, here's an example of how bad my eyes are. And I've never had an eye exam. So when I switched my driver's license over from a Minnesota license to an Illinois license, you got to do the chest. What does that say? And you got to go put your eyes down. All right, where's the blinking light? All right, it's on the left. All right, it's on both sides. All right, it's on the right. And then they make you read the line. All right, that's a B. Okay. All right, that's a 4. Okay. And then I come to this one. Check this out. Kid you not. I go, all right, that's a S. She goes, nope. It's 5. Nope. I'm like, oh damn. 2. Nope. I'm like, I don't know if it's not a 5, an S, or a 2. I don't know what it is.
G or something?
I don't know what it was. I guessed my way through, and she just
Oh
goes,
my God.
okay. And she just passed me.
Whoa.
Totally not
right.
okay.
No, that's
this
not
should
okay.
not be happening.
That should
right?
not be happening. All right. I'm not riding with you ever. So.
But it's fine. But now I understand my own limitations. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, once it starts to get real dark, tap out. I'm tapping out. Because everything is a blur to me.
Right. So see, sometimes they should probably give you suggest you to have glasses just for driving or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
that may be a good idea.
She didn't really. She was mailing it in, man. I tell you
well,
what.
I
she
mean,
didn't care.
she wasn't. Yeah, but
I
she
didn't want her
wasn't
to.
she wasn't the the doctor. You know, what I mean, you need to go to the eye doctor to get that.
That was step number 1.
Well, true.
Should have said,
hey, maybe you need to go. Yeah.
I did not meet it with any kind of resistance.
Oh man. But again, as far as the summer stuff, I mean, different things. We have about 4 hours away is Virginia Beach, so I've been going there more often for day and a couple weekend trips lately. And when I was growing up, we never went to Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach was the worst. I mean, it was not. It was just not clean. They didn't keep it up. It didn't have all the good stuff. And then there was just tons and tons of jellyfish. And that's all I remember when I was a kid, visiting my cousins lived there, visiting them. And I just saw jellyfish all over the place and people getting stung. We're like, yep, we're not going there. When I was a teenager, I went there for a trip with my friends, and it was awesome. Everything was cleaned up. The boardwalk.
So they cleaned the whole place out.
Yeah.
How did they get rid of jellyfish?
Well, I don't know about I mean, I don't.
This is a thing that a Minnesota
weird,
boy would not know.
I'm not sure how they got rid of that, but there's not as many like it was or issues. But maybe because there's more people there now. That may be it. Something that I can think of. But they have this awesome concrete, brand new. Well, it's not brand new anymore, but just kept up boardwalk. They have a lot of events and things. Like one time I went there, they had on one end they had the national beach soccer tournament going on, sand soccer. Then on the other end they had the national cornhole tournament. Then on the other end
now wait
they
a
had
minute,
volleyball.
right there. So that's a controversial name that you just brought up. People call it a couple of different things.
Oh,
and it all depends on where you're at.
It's true.
And we're like, no, we don't call it that. We call it bags.
If
you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the game that takes no skill whatsoever. Only it kind of does.
Skill, but no athletic ability.
Yeah. You're basically this is the perfect dad bod game.
Yeah. You
just hang out
for the longest time.
Beer in your hand
the
and
rule was you had to play with a beer in your hand too. Had people.
See now there's that other things
rule.
like house rules. Like I never heard that before.
Yeah. It's like no.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the game where you got a little board. It's got a hole in it.
And you got bean bags
standing next to a board with a hole in it, and you toss your bean bag, and you're going to try to get it on the board or through the little hole.
Right, and you had teams, 2 versus 2. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so it was crazy. They had this whole area where they had actual tournaments going on, and then they had
people take it that seriously. That's not a game to take that serious.
Right. There's a
that game was not meant to be taken seriously.
And then what was cool because they had a separate area where you could go and play your own games, which was kind of cool. So it made it where it drew people in that were just on the beach. And then they were playing their games and they would watch the tournament as well. So they had it set up pretty good. But Virginia Beach has gotten a lot better right now with that. The other thing is, where do we? Oh, I always went to Jekyll Island for, the train.
Jekyll Island?
So for Survivor, right? Corky's like tournament. Yeah. So I would go there and two years in a row we would do the beach before, and it was Jekyll Island. It was a little island, and you had to take the bridge over it. And dude, this place was great. I loved it. They have a lot of. They're known for the sea turtles and things. They released the sea turtles at some time. It was the one beach that I saw more wildlife than ever. I would be able to go down and get sand dollars just with my bare hands and get 2 or 3 in my hands every time I went under the water and dug up. It was insane. I never had that before. They had little baby sharks around. But they're not going to mess with you.
I don't care.
Big horseshoe crabs. Just A lot of cool stuff, man.
I'm out of there. I'm out of there, man. Seriously. So like, well, we don't do salt water. We do fresh water. We do
fresh
lakes,
water.
man.
All right. I like the lake. Oh, what do you? So this next month, we have Smith Mountain Lake up here. It's about 45 minutes away. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, What About Bob? Do you remember that movie? God, what's the guy? Let's see. I don't know why I'm having a hard time with his name. But anyway, there's several movies and stuff that are out there, and people have houses and stuff, right? And I have students and stuff that have lake houses and things. And so we go there from time to time. But in next month, they have this thing called Pirate Days. And so they're still going to have it because it's not really that big of a deal. You dress up your boat or as a pirate, right? Like a pirate ship. And then people dress up as pirate ships and they pull up and have one ship next to another. And then they throw ice water on each other and they throw water balloons on each other and they spray each other with water guns. Some people get on the other people's boats, and drink together. I mean, it's crazy. And
that's cool.
So we're going to do that as a whole, like, group this year. So in a month, that's going to be fun. Last year, my girlfriend went with her friend for the first time, and she said it was just awesome, just a fun time. And it's like a weekend type thing. So you could do one day, you could do 2 days, you could do the whole weekend. And then some of the restaurants and bars and stuff have different pirate themes, pirate bands, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so it's crazy. But that's one of the things.
Okay, so see, the thing is, that all sounds awesome and then horrible at the same time.
Oh, I know.
Because that has like all like the greatest things I would ever want to experience and things that would make me say I never want to go there ever again. Because like I said, like I'm a freshwater guy. When we go to lakes, we don't go to oceans. Heck no.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That was a lake. This is at a lake.
Okay.
Yeah, Smith Mountain Lake. Yeah. No.
All
We're not doing that.
All right,
yeah.
my bad.
Yeah.
And then you do and you do like you go fishing, I'm assuming.
I'm not big at, I do every now and then. I'm not big at fishing that much.
What?
I would like to more. I just don't that often.
All right, hang on.
Here's the deal. We would go fishing at the end of the year our school would go to this lake or whatever, and that would be like the end of the year trip. And you know what? I didn't have everybody had all these fancy rods and reels and stuff. You know what I bring out? I bring out the old school Snoopy one, and I'd have the little kids one, and I'd be like, and I'd be getting more fish than everybody else, man, with my little kids Snoopy one that my dad bought me when I was like 4.
Oh yeah, I know that one. That's the same pole I caught my first fish on.
Right.
Oddly enough, I was talking about that story today. That's strange.
That is funny. Oh man.
But I tell you, so like, do you ever do like you ever go like do water sports? Like you ever go like skiing, tubing, things like that?
I like tubing. I did the first time of doing like surfing behind a boat.
Like wakeboarding or like wake surfing?
So with surfing, so it's just a board and
I know
your bare feet, and then you go. So you go like 11 miles an
amateur,
hour.
national, or world champion or something.
I tried that like 2 weeks ago, and that's what I want to get going to where I can do it for a little while now.
Isn't it awesome?
So, it's fun. It's just if you don't get it right, you just get your face full of water.
If you don't get it right, it's the worst thing on the planet.
Because then you're like, oh yeah, let me let go because this is not fun.
But yeah, so like you're hanging on.
Yeah.
You're hanging on to the side of the boat. People don't know what I'm talking. It's surfing for areas where you can't surf.
Correct.
Where it's like a lake, and then the boat's going. You're on a board, right? But it's not a surfboard. It's like a wake surfboard. Okay.
Right, but you don't have things to put your feet in.
Right.
You're free.
So you're just hanging on. You're just on the board. You're hanging on to the edge of the boat, which, can we just say, that's stupid and dangerous. You're right next to the prop.
Well, not the edge of the boat. No, not the edge. You have a rope.
Oh, no,
you don't have that way. Oh, good Lord.
No. The reason why we did it is because
I
didn't want to let go of the rope and then have the rope snag back and then hit me in the face.
Well, that's true. I guess, yeah.
We just hang on to the edge of the boat. Yeah. Now the boat's making a wake. Yeah. So you let go.
Yeah.
And now you're in the wake.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to Here, can we just say what it is? You're basically trying to not die.
Yeah.
That's the whole game is don't
Yeah.
die. Don't fall over and kill yourself. That's what
It's
it is.
crazy.
Right?
I always
But
love the
tubing is fun.
Tubing's
Tubing, because you
fun.
can have somebody else on your tube. You can do 2 tubes at once,
Yeah.
that should be illegal because all
Right.
you're trying to do is basically kill the other person.
Right. Now, when you
Yeah.
do the tubes, do you just stay on there, or do you try to do like flips and stuff?
Okay, so that you haven't been on a Minnesota lake, because here's what happens. There's 2 ways to do this. There's the right way, the person who's actually towing you, which is the worst. That's a totally unenjoyable part for them.
Oh,
because
yeah,
they're
it is.
cranking their neck the whole time. They have no idea what's going on.
Right.
They're like, this sucks. I'm in a horrible position. I have to make sure that nobody in what I'm doing dies in an activity where I'm towing that line.
Right.
And then basically all they're going to try to do is make you catch as much air as possible and dance the line of death. That's what that's going to be. So there's no flip. There is no, I'm going to try to do something cool. You know what your thing of cool is? Don't die. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, there's been some interesting things where I thought, I'm going to flip, and I end up like actually in the air because I just happened to catch some, and my tube is just floating in the air with me on it. That was scary. So
I kind of learned how to do this when it would snow here, and we had our 4-wheeler, and we would do then we have like a snow tube, and we would attach it to that, and the other person would drag them, and the whole time we're trying to roll, so our body and our back are actually hitting the ground and rolling. We were just crazy stupid kids doing stuff like that, right? So I'm like, all right, if I can do that on ground, why can't I do this in the water on the lake? So I would do it pretty successfully sometimes, but it'd be getting back on it where I would just boom and pop off, and it was nuts. But you got to be a little crazy sometimes, right?
I mean,
yeah.
All right. What are some other fun things about summer?
What about summer tournaments? What was your favorite? I mean, you probably went to the U.S. Open, right?
There's the U.S. Open.
There's the U.S. Open.
It wasn't over 4th of July weekend,
right?
Because there was a stretch. There was a long stretch where it was like the third week in July. Why?
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why does it always have to be?
Yeah. And see, for us, like usually, DC Capital College is like the last weekend of summer, or the week right before.
It was the first weekend of August, right? It was like the first or second weekend of August.
First or second one. So a lot of times that's our last week.
Well, see, cool. Now that's a strange thing for me too. I don't understand this. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Illinois, I don't understand it, but they basically start school back up at like August 12th.
Yeah, same here.
Same here. That is the strangest thing for me.
Oh, it is. I mean, and most people are used to going back after Labor Day, the Tuesday.
That's
after
the only
Labor
thing
Day.
I remember. Only thing I remember. Now talking to the other people I know back from my hometown, that's all they do in the state too. In Minnesota, that's all they do is still day after Labor Day. Boom.
Right.
And that's how you knew, because the last day of the I mentioned it before. The last day of the Minnesota State Fair was Labor Day.
Oh,
so
nice.
You knew this is it. Blow it out now, because tomorrow it's gonna suck.
Yeah. Oh man. So for me, some that were fun. Let's see. I mean, I like going to Mexico in the summer. It's really hot, but
sounds horrible to me.
It's a lot of fun because you get to actually like spend some time there and stuff. If you're going to go to Acapulco or go to Cancun during the summer.
That sounds like it's 368 degrees.
But it's not as bad. I have gotten really burnt though. That is true. I mean, look at me. I'm pretty white. So I've had some really bad sunburn after going to Mexico. But pretty fun stuff. Yellow Rose was a good tournament that we used to go to in San Antonio, Texas.
I've heard a lot of great things about it.
And the Riverwalk in San Antonio is awesome. It's a great, it's they made it to where it would mimic like, the one in Rome, right? And they have restaurants all around there and all that stuff. And then you can go see the Alamo and many other different things. And I really like that area. I thought that was a fun time. And the hotel and everything was nice. That was one of my favorite summer tournaments. It was kind of like in the beginning of summer, so it kind of kicked it off. And And then it used to be growing up, Vegas, the second Vegas tournament, so the NBL Vegas tournament was in the summer. And that was fun. But it was hot and really hot. And so there was that.
Another thing I would.
Yeah. And then when Apple had hers was like either in the middle of August or like the first week of school or something like that, if I remember. And so it was really hot in August. But, anytime you go to Vegas, lots of fun. And same thing with Jekyll Island, man. Fun time, chill area. There, really, there's not too much to do, but it's relaxing, and you're just hanging out with your karate friends, So that's fun. I don't know, man.
I'll tell you one that I liked the level of competition, but I don't want to go many other times, which is the Battle of Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you know much about it, but the Battle of Chicago.
I do, but I've never been, but yeah.
In Hammond, Indiana.
Yes.
Let me repeat that.
Yeah.
The Battle of Chicago takes place in Hammond, Indiana.
Indiana. Yeah.
Continuing. All right. The level of competition, it's freaking there. You're gonna have like top freaking level competition.
Yeah.
And Detroit comes to town every now and then. Like when they come to town, like it's gonna be freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll save this for another day, but I'll never forget the time when Hamid and BJ and I went to that tournament in 2006. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that's
about that too.
I might have told you about this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into that one, but that's when I like the level of competition. Like it's high, all right.
Yeah.
But
right.
I probably not want to do that one if
Right.
I had another choice.
Right.
I
did that one in Carowinds in Charlotte where I won the motorcycle. That was like the week after my graduation. After my graduation, it was the same weekend as Bluegrass, and Bluegrass was a good summer tournament. That was like your kickoff for the summer,
Yeah.
And
I love that. That was fantastic.
All right, I still liked it better.
I should say
when
that's
it was
my
in
favorite.
The Galt House.
Yes.
But the old hotel, the old center was so packed. It was hot.
Okay,
I just remember they had like the pool, right? There was like glass. It was almost like you were in a greenhouse, right? And it was that type of thing. And I just remember being so hot in there. And it was like a sauna. And but they had, growing up, the big hotels had the big epic, arcade rooms, and you loved that. You just sat around and just did that all the time, because what else are you going to do after a tournament but play video games and knock on random people's doors, That's just what you do when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But,
pretty much.
Or swim after a tournament, right? That's about it. So that was always a fun one. And so much good competition, too, at all these events. So, but yeah.
So those are some other great things. I gotta tell you, you know what I freaking love?
What?
And it's just like there's just certain things that just say summer.
Uh-huh.
Freezy Pops, man. Freezy Pops.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Freezy Pops and Dairy Queen. I freaking love it.
Okay, I get you on the second one. All right, I used to like I can't. You know what I don't like about Freezy Pops?
What?
So when you're so excited and you cut that thing and then you cut the side of your lip on the plastic, right? Or you like accidentally like chew the plastic because I don't like that, man. I don't like that.
You're a rookie. You're a rookie.
I don't eat that stuff no more, man. But
those are rookie problems. Are you kidding me? I'll take 5 of them down in a sitting.
Dairy Freeze. Oh, sorry.
I could grab a handful of them and just sit down and just pop, pop, pop. I can do a bag.
So
that's how much I love those things.
Well, where I live, so yes, we have Dairy Queen, but we also have a small like regional franchise called Tasty Freeze.
Time out. Dairy Queen is in all the small towns. What you're telling me is that your small town is smaller than Dairy Queen?
Yes. So some of the other ones in our area had like these things called Tasty Freeze, right?
Never heard of it.
And most of them in our area completely went independent, and they changed it to something like, like the one in my town is called Hud's. And it was just because that's the guy who owned it. And he just said, well, I'm getting out of this franchise and we're going to call it Hud's. Now, he never changed the thing around it that said Tasty Freeze or any of that, you know. And then you had this other one
That's interesting.
down the road that just said, hey, I don't want to be a part either, but I'm going to take one from each. And I'm going to call it Dairy Freeze. So he took Tasty Freeze and Dairy Queen and just made it his own. But that's just small town stuff. And so they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to go to the Dairy Queen in this town. Well, we don't have a Dairy Queen. We have a Dairy Freeze. Pretty much the same stuff. Good old soft serve ice cream. They all had the, you know, they had the
I mean, what do you want?
Yeah.
You want a
thing.
soft serve cone.
Yeah.
You want a Blizzard.
Yep, that's what it is. They still had the
End of
Blizzard.
story.
Yep, it was the Blizzard, man. And yeah, so
if you get anything
still
else,
funny.
you got talked into it. Maybe you want the peanut butter parfait, etc., etc.
Right. Or
But
corn,
I tell you, here's the
dog
one
good.
thing though. Like, okay, so I mentioned, like, my birthday was on the 12th, right? So my wife's like, you know, what do you want? Tell me what you want to do. I have a couple of requests, and this is going to go into my last favorite thing about summer. All right. Every year, I say I want 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This is the only 3 things I want for my birthday. I want a Dairy Queen cake.
Mm-hmm.
I want to eat barbecue.
Okay.
And I want to go to the Chicago Blues Fest.
All right. Yes.
There was no Chicago Blues Fest this year.
Right. But you got the other 2, right?
I got the other 2.
There you go.
You know
Me
what?
too. I always
like,
wanted Dairy Queen cake, man.
Left
It's the best.
that's still in my freezer right now. When we're done with the cast, I'm gonna go get that one.
Just remember.
I'm thinking about it right now.
I think that's the best
I know
part,
everybody
too.
listen to this right now. You're hearing Dairy Queen cake. You're thinking about that fudge on the inside
man.
with the little. Oh my goodness! You just can't wait to have it.
It's the best.
At
It
least
really
5
is the
people
best.
listen to this and they get a Dairy Queen cake tonight.
Right.
I guarantee it.
Man, that is one of the things. I'm not a big like dessert fan, but for my birthday it'll either be a cheesecake or the Dairy Queen cake, and that's what I want. And man, it's just something about that ice cream cake, man, that's just the best. And what's cool too is people forget freeze it, and you'll stay there for a long time. You know.
All right. How about this?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things you hate about summer? Because oddly enough, I got a list. I get cranky, man. I tell you, in about 25 years, I'm gonna audition for the Grumpy Old Man Part 3. All right. That's where I am in life. That's my destiny.
I get it. I guess for me, it's a big change. Like for us, like I know for the karate school part, it's completely different. Like I have time where I'm just there by myself and I'm like, well, this sucks. Like, what am I doing? You know, and it's like when other times there'll be people in and out and everything like that. So that part's different. I hate getting sunburned. I hate it. And I mean, I went outside to play basketball today with 2 of my kids.
Street ball. Street ball's one of my favorites.
And it's just like,
I love it.
I was out there for 20 minutes and I got burnt. You know, it's like, come on, man. So that.
But I'll tell you, so like street ball.
Yeah.
Some of it's good, some of it's not. Go. So like when I go to like, all right, like I can't play here. There's no friggin' way. All right.
Right.
The guys are too good. The guys are too good in Chicago, or in the suburbs where I'm at. Nobody's any good. All right. So I can't go. There's no way. All right. But in Minneapolis, you go to Loring Park. No, that's. Yeah. It's just not even. It's not good. But see, in Minneapolis, like some of the best is in the burbs. Where everybody from the city, they all go there. They go to this one. They go to this one server called Golden Valley. Everybody goes to Golden Valley. They go to this one obscure park. Everybody knows on a Sunday at 3:00, you go to this one place. Mm-hmm. There's nothing written down. You're just there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Wow.
That's where the best ball is at.
All right. So I would say one that actually the good side and the bad side. One of my favorite and one of my. All right. So we'll just say bugs. Right. So I hate mosquitoes.
Oh, mosquitoes are my worst.
I love the lightning bugs. Right. And that comes out in the summer. Where you know what I'm talking about?
I could go without them.
Without the lightning bugs, man, that's fine. That's fine.
Could go without
you got to get those lightning bugs when you're.
If you never saw another lightning bug the rest of your life, you would be just fine.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't appreciate until they're gone, or until you actually see it, and you're like, man, you know what, this is cool. Like I didn't even a few years ago. I mean, I hadn't realized I didn't even notice them the past few years. Maybe they're gone. I don't know. But I was hanging out with my nephew the other day, and we were for an hour catching lightning bugs. You know, it's fun,
That sounds
right?
like a horrible. That sounds like a horrible time.
But mosquitoes are the worst.
I would never
hate
do.
it. I hate it. And
I would
when you go
never
to
do.
when you go to Texas or like New Mexico, like you can die from those things, man. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, they have ones that
You no
will
way.
like swell your neck up and stuff. Yeah, I remember when we used to go to El Paso for Sun City Classic, wherever. We would go and they would like run inside real fast, run inside because the mosquitoes will get you and you're gonna get real sick. Like what? So yeah, no.
No freaking way.
Yes. So that's another term we used to go to all the time is El Paso, Texas, which it's really hot. You're talking about the desert, like really the desert. And yeah, don't let the mosquitoes get you in Texas, New Mexico, any of that area. So, all right. So, where are you at, man? You look like you froze on me. Did he freeze? Well, all right, Alex. So, Alex kind of disappeared for a little bit. But anyways, we're talking about summer stuff. So, favorite summer things. I know for me, my favorite, well, all right. We used to drive to US Open all the time. You back, bud? Yes? Okay, it looks like you're back. But we would drive from US Open, so that would be a long trip. And then you would, let's see, we would hit some of the different areas on the way back.
Was I gone for a minute?
Yeah, for like a long time. That's why I had no clue what you.
Oh,
you didn't know. Were you
my
talking?
bad. Well, no, I wasn't talking, but I'm like, I thought you were just going. Anyway, forget that. I'm here.
No, you froze, so I'm just kind of like, all right.
Oh, that's what I did. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so the U.S. Open, we would drive, there, and then get down there pretty fast, and then take a long way on the way back. Just go to Georgia for a few days, and then go to South Carolina, visit family, and then North Carolina, then Virginia. So that would be fun. But yeah, man. I mean, I'd say bugs, mosquitoes. That's one of the worst things. Sunburn, and just kind of not having just that change is different from
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what some of my worst is.
All right, go.
This is gonna sound strange.
Fireworks? Okay.
Fireworks.
I get. You don't like fireworks, okay?
No, like here's the thing. I like fireworks on the 4th of July. And I like them to end at 8 p.m. Done. I don't want to see anymore. Maybe 10 p.m. I'm done. All right. Mm-hmm. When it's July 12th, when it's June 15th, what are we doing?
Right now, every night there's fireworks going on right now.
I know. And you know what? Here's why. Okay. First of all, when I was just a single guy, I'm like, all right, I'm annoyed by this. I'm just sitting here at home watching whatever I'm watching. Or I'm hanging out with whoever I'm hanging out with. And it sounds like a bomb goes off on my street. Like, I'm annoyed by that. That's
right.
not right. Like I told you, I'm auditioning to be in Grumpy Old Man 3. Like, it bothers the heck out of me, right?
You're like the guy you're like the guy, get off my lawn, kid. You're like that kid, that guy.
Well, take this now, taking the fact that I got 2 kids that are sleeping when you're going to do that right out in front of my house. And I got a dog that's afraid of air, right? And you're basically going to light off dynamite right in front of my house. Yeah. I'm going to want to pick you up and throw you down the street.
It's true. I get it. I do like ice cream. I tell you what as far as with summer
ice cream is fantastic. You know what? But you know what?
Go.
Here's the worst. Okay, these 2 worst. 100+ degrees. I don't care, right, what it is. I don't care if people say, oh, it's dry heat. It's okay.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
humidity.
No,
It's dry
no.
heat. Heck no.
No.
I don't like 100+ degree anything. You know what? For me, if it's 63 to 72, perfect. I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't need 80. I don't need 80. Give me 72. I'll be fine. Right?
Right.
I'll be just fine.
Oh,
Right?
man.
104? What the heck for?
Right.
You ever notice how everybody in Florida you don't even dress for the weather in Florida. Floridians comment on this, right? People don't dress for the weather in Florida. They
No.
dress for the air conditioning.
That's true.
Because everywhere
It's really
you
true.
go, the air conditioning is set for 53 degrees.
Correct.
And
And
you're
then a
like,
lot
oh
of
my
times
gosh.
it rains so much too. So like you have to put clothes on to over. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so listen to this. This is speaking on that. This is a true story. My brother told me this when he was in the Marine Corps, right? He said, I'll never forget this, Alex. He goes, it was hotter in Okinawa at 95. It was when he did his jungle warfare training, right? This is when he told me this. He's telling me this. Called me up one night, like three something in the morning when he was in Kuwait. He said it was hotter in Okinawa at 95 than it was when I was in Kuwait at 140. 140 degrees.
Good God.
There shouldn't be living things at 140 degrees.
That's
Everything
insane.
should just burst into flames
Right.
at 140.
Is that even
what
real?
the heck for? He says so I'm like, dude, what the heck do you do? And he goes, dude, it's worse because we're all in our BTUs.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, so what the heck do you do? And he goes, well, when we take shifts, we take naps underneath the Bradleys and the Humvees. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, we literally lay underneath them. And then we just, because it's the only place where it's shaded, because it's the only thing that we have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, talk about a big bad suck.
Yeah.
Right.
Man,
but
that's insane.
actually, can we agree with this? We're going to agree
All
with
right.
this and say that this is the absolute worst thing about summer.
Go.
Drum roll. Hot garbage.
Yes, I totally
garbage
agree.
is by
That is
far
the worst. Yeah, you're right.
Worst thing ever. When you smell that, you're like,
yeah.
If I put burnt hair inside a diaper and set that on fire, that would smell better than this. Right?
All right. I mean, where did you get that one?
Man, tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong though. That's the thing.
But I just don't know. I don't know.
I don't
just
know where I came up with that. I have no
Where'd you
idea.
come up with that? It's crazy.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
I agree. That's the worst thing ever. Oh, the other thing is, you know, when you go to a tournament and you have your bag, and then you put snacks or whatever in it, right? And
I already know where you're going.
Yeah,
I already know what
you know,
you're gonna do.
one of those snacks is probably a banana, right?
Yuck.
And you know, you go to a tournament in June. You don't go back to the you don't get your bag again until next month, right? And your bag's been sitting in the car.
I wasn't even thinking that bad.
Your bag's been sitting in the car, you know, this whole time. And then you're at the tournament and you're like, man, what is and you reach your hand. I think my mouthpiece is in this pocket. And your whole hand is just banana.
No.
And nasty.
I'd have to burn the bag.
I've had to do that before. I've had to wash it several times.
There's no washing it at that point. I don't care. There's no kind of nostalgia that would make me want to keep that bag.
But the heat makes it worse. I mean, even normally that's bad, right?
Yuck.
In the winter, but add the heat to it, it's the worst. It's.
I thought you were gonna say what I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say something simple like a granola bar and then the chocolate melted. You know,
that's not that bad, dude.
Like that.
Banana's the worst.
Oh yeah, what you said was way worse.
That's really bad. Dude, yeah, there's so many good things about summer, so many bad things, and I remind myself about all the time. I mean, right now, just in Virginia, last week it was 50-something degrees. The week before it was 85. Then it keeps going back and forth.
I could get down with the 50-something. I could get down with that.
But not where it flips back and forth, man. That's just too much. You're like getting used to wearing certain things, and the next time you have to go outside because you're like, okay, it's raining, so let me put a hoodie on and pants. And then after it's done raining, you're
Nah,
burning
see,
up.
this is what
It's
you don't
like,
understand.
oh, it's
This is what
crazy.
you don't understand right here. And somebody comment. Somebody please comment on this somehow, some way, shape, or form. There is plenty of Minnesotans that as soon as it hits 42, they're wearing tank tops and flip-flops.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That is a
Wisconsin
thing.
too. Wisconsin too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mike Welch, please comment. Tell me
Right.
I'm lying.
Dude, that's one place I'd like to go for the summer is like the lakes up in Wisconsin or wherever. I've heard some good things about that. Because it's not as hot as it is down here.
Bro,
Right.
you're going to come with one day you're going to come with me.
All right.
And we're going to go to the lakes and you're going to have a great freaking time.
Jeff Orlowski has a lake house. But he invites me in January when it's negative 30 degrees. Thanks, bro.
Oh, you've never gone ice. You've clearly never gone ice fishing before.
No, I didn't have enough time to do it. I would like to do that though, but
all right.
I don't really know. Like, smack myself. Why would I say I would really like to do that? No. Why would I want to sit in the freezing cold and just like this, like with a circle?
Hey,
right
time out. Really you don't understand who you're talking about this with.
Well,
you're talking about doing this with Wisconsinites.
Yes.
Wisconsinites make anything like. I'm going to tell you this right here, okay? Wisconsinites make anything where you can drink beer with an amazing activity.
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, they're gonna be like, here, we're going to go down this. We're going to go down this slide, and it's 114 degrees outside, and it's steel, and we're going to listen to our skin burn, right? And they'll put a Busch Light beer in your hand, and somehow you think it's an amazing time, right?
Yeah. It's true.
And you're like, wow, guys, this is great. But really, I'm telling you, they have a way of doing it where everything is great. And what we're going to do? We're going to find out where Jeff Orlowski's cabin, because I guarantee you it's a cabin, all right? He's got a cabin, all right? And we're just going to show up. We're going to do that, all right? And we're going to go, and I guarantee in the summer it's slamming.
Yeah.
So we'll go. Jeff, we're self-inviting ourselves there.
There we go. Oh, man.
Should we get into our karate topic or what?
Yes. But we've had some fun with this, so it's good. Hope everybody else is too.
This has been fantastic.
All right, so let's see. What was it? A couple of weeks ago when I messaged you? Because this is what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, do I want to go to Battle of Atlanta or do I not? And so I'm like, well, let me see what the divisions are. Let me see what the schedule is. And honestly, I think they've done a good job at looking at their schedule. It's going to start Friday morning. It's going to, they have to do it, more like a summer event, which it was anyway, but set up more like the U.S. Open. But, 2 hours is this, 2 hours is this, and they have it to where you can't just hang around the tournament the whole time. You have to go in and out, right? That's the way it's going to be with everything going on. So I'm looking at, all right, when would I do this? Let me look at the rules for this, because I was trying to figure out when you're 30 in the 30-plus division, how many divisions can I do? Can I compete in both the senior grands and the 18-plus grands? Can I do this or that? I'm trying to figure all this out. In doing all of this, I'm trying to find the rules for Korean forms. And I realized
okay, and you're still looking?
It's not even listed. There's nothing even mentioning in the NASCAR rules the word Korean. It says traditional, which, in my opinion, that is for the juniors, right? The junior division, because it's just traditional. There's also, even though I'll say this for Korean, but there's not something that says the Japanese Okinawan division either for adults. They have rules and almost like a half a page for Kempo. They have a good amount for Chinese. They have it for 3 pages worth for the classical forms of traditional challenge, but they don't have any rules for Japanese or Korean. Now, if you can find this magically for me, do it. Maybe I just got tired of rolling through things, and I don't know. But there's not. And so there is the biggest problem with everything that we've been talking about, why Korean forms don't get the props they deserve, or even just, people, it's not even in there. So why would someone even think that they could do it if it's not even in there, right?
Here's the thing. I don't understand I don't understand when it happened, where it came from, but at some point, I have a feeling it had to be just a competitor that, like, they just were enamored with that made this the case.
Right.
But at some point, NASCAR as a whole, not a person as a whole, just decided, oh yeah, Japanese, that's where it's at. That's
it's
really
way better. Yeah, right. Well,
now,
and the other thing is too is in the 90s, it became the open division. It became the creative division. Korean was the creative division. It was where you were doing
exactly. Okay, so then maybe
what
we just had
the
our
rules
answer
are
right
for
there.
creative is. And then in 2000, it was like, no, we are going to go to how it should be. So after all these years of pushing these people who've won overall titles and stuff, winning the Korean division, and now you're telling them, no, this is what you're doing. It's just, they're still in a catch-up, in a catch-up phase.
20 years later.
Right.
Because it switched in 2000.
Yeah. And
because in 99, it was still the creative. I mean, it was called Korean, but it was the creative
what
division.
It was. You had to do Korean-style forms, kicking, jump kicks, no flips. That was what it was, right?
It was creative.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
But it was really wrong. It was wrong because that's not right.
No. But at the same time, and this is what we talked about off air before, was that tricking and open forms, all of that, really, in my mind, came from the Korean style more than anything. Because because even the traditional forms have jump spin kicks in them, tornado kicks in some of them, jump. So it's like, okay, how can we take this to the next level? So a lot of those guys that were the ones that started extreme style forms were from Taekwondo schools, and even then, the Olympic style Taekwondo with the jumping and spinning and kicking. And then you're talking about the Korean Tigers, you're talking about West Coast Demo Team, those types of things, and Junri,
West Coast Demo Team,
musical,
that was something else.
All of that came from that, you know what I'm saying? So they go hand in hand, but they're still different. You do one and kick out the other, you know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't have gotten to this jump kick and stuff area without the real traditional forms.
Correct.
So I think if you look at it on paper, we're doing this right. We have a division now for traditional, and we have an open style one. But that's not really the case because it's just being passed over, and
the same thing with the traditional challenge.
Right.
That didn't make any sense.
It's not called the traditional kata challenge, or it's not called the kata challenge. It's just called traditional challenge.
Yeah.
Traditional challenge means to me that it should be legit, but for every style, right? But it's
so if you did a Chinese form, if you did a traditional Chinese form,
right,
you would get a 0 score.
Right, because you're not, and they have a list of divisions. I just think the names, a lot of this stuff should be changed. If you want to call it classical kata or traditional kata, kata is a Japanese Okinawan term, so that makes sense.
And how about like this, Jeff? Maybe this is it. Decide what you want it to be,
right,
and label it appropriately
to
that, to what it is that you want. And I think the problem is right there. They don't want to label it what they actually feel, right? Because really, for the Korean, I bet you, we can't name 3 people who've ever made a finals who just did the Korean division. I know you have, right?
Yeah.
Can you name 2 other people who've made a NASCAR finals?
What do you mean,
doing a Korean traditional form?
You mean in the junior division where it was just traditional? Or
I'm talking the adults.
Yeah, but most of the time they don't do runoffs anymore anyway. So most of the people who win their division go straight up to finals. So most of the time there's someone in there. You're talking about overall grand?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I thought you said made the final. No, win an overall grand. Surprisingly, the person that has done it the most with the traditional challenge is one of the first people to do it.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Korean division.
I know. I'm getting there. Jarrett Liker actually won overall grands with his Korean form one.
Man, how long ago was that?
that was before he started doing more Japanese again, like the traditional.
That was 10
challenge
years
stuff.
ago.
Yeah,
That was
before.
10.
Right.
That was a decade
Right.
ago.
That
And time out. Let's just say this.
And Marcel didn't win it with his Korean. So
right, he won it with his creative. What
Yep.
year and what form was? And you saying Jarrett was doing his? Take a guess what I feel about that.
I know. Let's go. Let's move on.
All right.
As far as other ones, I can't remember. I know there's probably one more.
No, I can't think of anybody else. No, I can't think of any male or female. Oh, I take that back. I can't think of a few females that have done it.
I think Becca actually did it once, and I think Dana Shore did it once.
That's why I checked myself there. I checked myself.
And in NBL,
I can't think of any male. I can't think of any male other than you.
Right. I've been able
made a NASCA finals.
Right.
With the form they did, with the form they did in the Korean division.
Right.
I can't think of anybody. And you know why, Jeff? Because they don't care.
Right. Well, that's true.
Because here's what they want. They want someone from the musical. They want someone from the extreme. They want someone from the creative.
I don't think they want someone from the creative.
But if somebody from the creative makes it who wasn't one of the other two, fine.
Yes, but they don't want them either. Those are the two divisions that are.
I know they don't want them. I know they don't want it. It's just there, right? But if someone was there, okay, they'll appease it, right?
Right.
They're really what they want. They want three people. They want creative, or they want extreme, musical, and Japanese.
Right. Yeah.
And if somebody else is gonna make it, they'll be like, all right, creative, come on in.
Yeah.
But Korean? They're like, oh no.
Yeah.
You're not invited to this party.
Correct.
You're not invited. Right?
Yeah.
And what you're saying is you wouldn't have a party if it wasn't for the Korean division.
Right. Right. You wouldn't even, exactly. Like you would not be able, none of that would exist without the basis of that. And you also have to put actually the wushu in there too, because the karate guys saw some of the 540s and things that wushu were doing, like, man, how can I put this into my hard style? A lot
of that.
Yeah. Right.
And you know what? That's what, and we've talked about this many times on the cast. The Chinese style, when it was the open division, you saw the most creativity come out when it was open, right? Because there was more. There's no standing kicks now, all right? There was more standing kicks then. There's more creativity with that, all right? We pulled from everywhere because there was no limitations. So it was like, let me get anything. But now it's labeled extreme. So that's all we're looking for. It has to be that.
And it's also, I don't want to blame like people that created some type of system to, like, I don't want to blame Mike Chat for it, or those that created like XMA or whatever, but they almost created like a format that, all right, this is what you have to do if you want to compete in this division. And for us to get more people into something, you kind of need that. But at the same time, that takes the creativity and the, where, guess what? This is my style. This is how I'm going to show you what open is, And
well, I don't want to blame him either, but look at when he did that. When he started to do that, what are we talking? It was like 1995?
No. 99. When it actually became XMA, it was like 98, 99. Yeah.
But it was already, he didn't
start.
Right, but
he didn't start a team until 97, 98. So.
I know that.
Yeah.
And he didn't start a team until 97. But his influence was already fully in effect by that point.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
We didn't format, okay, Mike Chat deserves his credit. We did not, as a whole, as a community, did not format our forms very well as a whole before Mike Chat's influence. All right, there was.
I'm going to say no. I
know you're going to say no.
Yeah, but it's more.
You had listen to the people you had around you. You had Carmichael. You had Valera.
Yeah.
Right?
So
that was your area. That's
everyone in Virginia.
We didn't have that.
We had
the rest of the country didn't have that.
Charlie Lee created this thing. Francis Panetta created these things.
But hang on.
This is how we train.
Let's talk about that though. How many other people were still trying to do the I form pattern?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Right?
There was.
We're still trying to do the I form pattern. with creative moves. We're still trying to do a chop punch over to the complete left side,
Right.
then transition to another chop punch all the way over to the right side. And
Right.
we weren't using angles. No
Right.
one was using angles.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's
Chat
true.
came around and said, stop trying to work so hard. Position yourself this way. All right. Here's how you do a standing kick combo,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Before he really started doing that, all right, we didn't really have a format for how we were doing that. While guys like Carmichael and Valera were already doing that,
yeah,
it was Chat who really propelled the rest of the country to do that.
And I guess so. I mean, I'm sure hopefully soon we'll have Carmichael in here and we can talk about that. But
heck yeah,
yeah. But I think that's a lot of it's just perspective too. From where you live, he was a big influence. From where I live and in other areas, JV and John Chung and Charlie Lee and Carmichael were, and then in New York, it was a whole nother kind of thing. So I think everybody has a different one. You talk people in California, they're saying it's West Coast demo team, it's Jimmy Pham. They're saying it's George Chung, Stephen Ho, those guys. I'm sure even in Florida, they have a whole different thing. So I think everybody has.
But let's say this though.
Texas, completely different. So
okay, but who had the biggest imprint?
In what? Like just open forums?
In forums. I think it's Chat. I think Chat had the biggest imprint.
Okay. We'll just agree to disagree, but it's okay.
What are you talking about? The guy had a signature comma in the 90s.
So did Chris Casamassa before him.
Was Chris Casamassa couldn't hold the candlestick to Mike Chat.
So did Mike Bernardo. He had a signature bow.
That was the next thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike
so there's
Chat's
different ones.
Signature comma is on the level with Mike Bernardo's signature bow. At the time, was on. They were on the same level.
I'm giving him his Mike Chat, awesome on that. I just think that everybody, when I was coming up, it wasn't like one person you followed what they did. You were either right. You had different groups that had their own style. Now all those people kind of looked similar. So it was kind of based on where you came from, like your area. You had the Chicago area and stuff.
Even where we were at,
so
we still looked at Carmichael and JV and we're like, my goodness.
Right.
Chat had the format. Those guys were just the bomb diggity.
Yeah. I think more people though have actually followed John's format more than anyone because the big trick and then go to the corner.
Now today we follow John's format more than ever. But at the time when Chat was competing,
right,
he's the one who really taught us. Like he was the one who really taught the country as a whole, the community as a whole. This is how you should format your forms. He got us started. Okay. Then we started to look at Valera and we're like, oh, you mean I could do a format? I don't have to do a standing kick? You mean I could do this? And I can just do one move towards the back? And I can do everything facing the front? Oh, I'm on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
I just think all of them had a similar format. I mean, Carmichael, Mike, and John did. The other thing, though, was really you got to give a lot of credit. I think I've done this before. One of the first two people I remember seeing doing the round-off flash or whatever to the corner. It's two people, and they were juniors. And that was Jimmy Pham and Butch Marks. And
I thought you were going to say Guy Burkett.
No, all right, Guy did, but okay, he's another one too. All three of them, right? But Guy had it they did it in a sport karate style. Guy came from a gymnastics and a traditional tumbling style.
Guy Burkett is still somewhere taking his shirt off, ripping his abs out.
Yeah.
Right now, Guy Burkett's still. I don't have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, he's in LA and he's with Mike Chat doing stuff right now.
We rarely even saw that guy with his shirt on.
Well, anyways, we got into the long thing, guys. Yeah. If we this is my thing as far as Korean. I think if anyone needs to lead a Korean kind of what should we call it? I don't know what to call it, but
pushing Korean again
in tournaments. it can't just be me. It's got to be some other people.
Jeff, let's go back to where we started. No, Jeff, we were talking about there's not even rules for this.
Right.
No, so Jeff, let's just do this. If there's somebody who should be like, well, what's your opinion on what the rules should be? Dude, it should be you.
Well, yeah, but
what should some of the rules look like?
I can just show you the NBL rule book and be like, that
should just be it. Okay,
well, there are some
me
things that don't need to be in there, but
what are some of the things in the NBL rule book that NASCA should adopt?
So, I think there needs to be a list of forms. I do. I think that would work, but
then you would have to do the same thing with Japanese then, because there's Japanese forms that just get created.
Correct. So
the same thing with
that's why I like WKU and WKC. I think they have it the best as far as they have a hard style division for those types of people that kind of, modify the Korean or Japanese forms.
Yeah, I like that. There used to be an American hard style division.
Right.
That's a good division.
And then you have the classical kata one, and then you have the classical,
But
Korean
you know why we don't have the American hardstyle division? Because what would the American hardstyle division be today? The creative division. It'd be the creative.
Somewhat, yeah. But
because think about it. If you're just making up a traditional form, you're creating a traditional.
Creative. Yeah, of course.
It's creative. You're just making something up.
You can also, but it's not. We've evolved into what a creative style is. You know what I mean? So creative has its own style. Open style forms is its own style. Traditional hard style isn't. It looks like karate, but it's modified. You just put your traditional techniques in a different order.
Dude, it's gonna be hard for me to try to sign up for more divisions.
Well, I know, I agree. So
you know what I mean?
Again, one of the things, kicks, the only difference, for Japanese, kicks should be below the chin, I think.
Why is that? Why do you feel like that?
That's just a traditional type thing. Most of the side kicks are at the neck, if any higher. I think but there has to be some difference between it. If there's not a difference between Korean and Japanese, it's kind of hard to do that, right?
Now, would you have a height difference on the Korean division for the kicks?
Well, they just, not saying they have to be above the head, but they can be, There's that.
Because you would say the sky's the limit, whatever. There's no limit on the height of the kicks of the Korean. Because there shouldn't be, I don't think. I don't think you should have a...
But see, in ITF, there is. In ITF, you cannot kick above the head. You can kick at the head. But then in WTF, you're kicking straight up.
Here's why that's silly.
So it's different.
Because we all understand it's an imaginary fight. So if you're fighting me and I'm taller than you and you can only kick to your head and trying to kick to my head.
That's true.
And all you've ever done is kick at your head height, what good does that do you?
Right. Well, you got hopefully you have a good solid chest kick. But yeah. No, I know what
you see what I mean now?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but there's things like that. I just think those rules are good. There are some things that maybe could switch. You don't, like in NBL, the max ki was 5 for Korean, and that's always weird to me because most of the forms, especially in ITF, there's no ki's. It's just it's just breathing the whole time in ITF style. So that's always kind of funny for me. But
here, how about this though, Jeff? Really, it's all in how it's officiated. If people just start screaming their face off, and people started awarding those people the winner, guess what people are going to do? They're going to start screaming their face off, right?
Yep.
So
that's what happens. That's why I think that's why I think there should be a ki rule. I think so.
But look at what that is, though. You add more rules. You're not. What needs to change is the officiating.
Right.
People will adapt based off of how you officiate it, right?
Yes.
Just like
again,
with fighters, we'll do the same thing.
The rules are not just for the competitors; they're for the judges. So, and that's what
I mean.
Like. Yeah. Right.
So when the judges, when
start enforcing the rules. There you go.
Right. All right. So I guess we're agreeing, but arguing on how we agree.
Right.
All right. I get you. Well, speaking of competitors, should we get to those competitors of the week?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do that. I'll go first. All right. My competitor of the week, is someone that almost everyone knows, but someone that we haven't seen in a while on the scene. I would say for probably about I would say like
Probably a
8,
decade.
9 years,
Yeah.
right? Her nickname is Legzilla. Her name is Jessica Robeson.
Yes.
Jessica Robeson, if you've never hung out with her before, is a super fun person to hang with.
Yeah.
Super funny, and extremely smart as well, but a very, very tough fighter. She's won a number of overalls as well. There's this, she owned Blitzkick.
Yeah. Right.
There was, because at one
Blitzkick.
point there was only sportmartialarts.com, but at that point it wasn't even called sportmartialarts.com.
Yeah, it was Masslink.
It was called Masslink. There was
Right.
Masslink, and then that was it. And Masslink stood for Martial Arts Sport League Online or something like that.
Martial Arts Sports League. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It was, and then they actually had a league in Ohio area.
I never really understood how that worked. Okay, so they had one. Okay.
Yeah.
So Emily Cooper had Masslink, and then that's what was going on. And then Jessica Robeson was like, let's start Blitzkick.
Well,
right?
and I think that kind of came out of what was the other one from that Joe? Was it Joe that did it?
You mean Jamie Craven?
Jamie. Sorry, Jamie. Yeah, it was around the same time.
Jamie started. I think Jamie might have started Sport Karate Video first.
Yes.
So Jamie Craven started Sport Karate Video.
And Jessica was working with him.
It was right along the same time. Either Jamie went first or Jessica went first. Either was right along the same time. Jessica Robeson starts Blitzkick. Jessica Robeson did a phenomenal job. We'll talk about her media point for a moment. Then we're going to get right back to her competitive standpoint. So her media was in some ways more impactful because that's what she's been able to impact us with. Right. Because everybody's clamoring after what it is that she's putting out. And she's putting out stuff. She put out like stuff of people doing drills she put out tons of video on fights, and she just put them out there for people to download. Right. Which was great. I wish I would have downloaded. I wish I would have downloaded it and kept it because now it's gone. Yeah. Right. Well, imagine what those gems would look like now.
Correct.
Now her as a fighter, man, she was good. Right. Because she could do. There's this one combo. I can't remember the tournament, but she did like a skip up, switch double, then like spin hook kick and hit some woman in the head with a spin kick. Yeah. And it was basically like a 5-kick combo almost. Right. And yeah, I'll never forget that one. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. She trains with Ibby, so that's where a lot of
she does train with Ibby Abdallah. She's out of the DC area.
Yeah, she was on DK2 Force 1 back in like the early 90s.
This I did not know. Okay, pick up where I left off. Go for it.
Well, yeah, no, she was she was, under that area in that group, and she, when she was younger, she was on that team. Then honestly, she kind of disappeared a little bit and then kind of came back. And I remember her more as, in the 30+ division, just beating everybody.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, and then just going to every tournament for a long time, then just started doing the media and everything. And great person, always fun to have around. And man, she was great. I mean, amazing kicker. I mean, just awesome watching her kick.
And we say amazing kicker, like she was more than that.
Right.
But it was there was many highlights of it.
Yeah.
And that's why we say that.
Right. Yeah. Pretty awesome. All right, you know what? Of course, like always, I changed mine. And I don't think I've taught y'all before too, but I'm going to go with another person lives in DC area now. And I have mentioned her because of the legacy and stuff, but she is from South Carolina, and that is Brenda Hund, also Brenda Lee. So So Brenda, her and Nikki Carlson ended up started in the same school, under Marty Knight in South Carolina. And I know I have talked about that before when I talked about Marty Knight as my competitor of the week, and that was like early. And she was like runner up at the Diamonds 5 years in a row, or not even in a row, but just 5 times she's been, and most of the time she lost to Nikki. And her, she was the super light fighter, and Nikki was the middleweight fighter, right? So she would beat everybody. I mean, just amazing super lightweight fighter. I mean, just awesome. And I got to train with her several times when I went to Charlie's school, because she ended up marrying Charlie Lee. And they're not together anymore, but she was an amazing fighter, great person to train with, and still, like, I remember when she was around in the late 80s and early 90s and everything, and still competing, but I trained with her in like the early 2000s, and she was still like whooping everyone's butt. And I see her every now and then at certain tournaments at DC every year. I always see her, and still in great shape. Still, apparently, she says she still trains every now and then just on her own. So she was one of the better super lightweight women fighters that I remember. And, just was always, let's see, the bridesmaid and not the bride during, when it comes to sport karate tournaments at the big wins, won her mini, division and her division grand, but would lose to her classmate, Nikki Carlson. So,
Well, see, when you mention that, how many people have had things like that?
oh
where
yeah,
the number one competitor in the world in their division, you're in that same division.
right.
So nobody even sees that. So at least Brenda made the final. Like we know Brenda is, right? But if there's just a few people, right, competitors,
Right.
in our sport. If you were in Nasty Anderson's division,
Correct.
you weren't making the finals.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
If you were in John Valera's division,
Yeah, you
were
weren't.
never going to make a finals.
Correct.
Right? If you were in Mike Bernardo's division, you think you're going to make a finals?
Correct.
Buddy, you're not going to make you're not going to make the podium. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. So and you're right. That's kind of a bummer there to say she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Right. Yeah, and we in our sport, even we judged it on overalls, right? Who's the best, overalls. But we also are like the only fighting sport that has people in other weight classes fight each other. So
I don't necessarily look at it that way. Here's what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to look at it like this. So if you're going to judge me by my overall career, I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to think I'm the worst freaking competitor in the world.
Correct. Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to say this. So for Brenda's, all right, I'm advocating for Brenda in this. She competed in an era and in a time with arguably the best female fighter to ever fight.
Right.
To ever fight. She fought Nikki. All right. I don't really me never winning an overall. I don't really care. I mean, yeah, I'll say I never won an NASCAR overall. Okay.
Right.
All right. So I don't really think of it as that big of a deal. It is that big of a deal. I'm not that broken up about it because I have different life views on that, and I'll talk about that at another time.
Right.
But let's just look at it from the talent perspective. There's never been more talent than the era I competed in, ever, ever. All right. And if you look at ever, I don't care. Argue with me. Tell me I'm an a-hole. I don't care. I'm going to start listing. I'm not getting into that right now. I'm going to start listing.
No, we don't need to do that right now. We talked about it because we talked about the 2000s before. But I know what you're saying. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I get what you're saying.
There's never been a more talented era than that era. Never. All right. And you say with it like that, from the hard hitting aspect to the literal talent aspect. There's never been a better one. All right.
Okay. But it's,
So for Brenda, when you say bridesmaid, never a bride, I don't fault her on that. I say, stink. If she because if Brenda was
here's the problem.
Could she win a championship? Possibly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
But here's the other thing that kind of stinks. Because of that, I think if you did right now and we did, you know how we do the best super lightweight fighters for men, we need to do the same thing for women and talk about those best ever. And unfortunately, I think because she never won it overall, she would, when she won her division, probably more than anyone, and won divisional grands probably more than anyone in the late 80s to early 90s, in that, she may not get mentioned because
That's
of
a
that.
good point, because you didn't get
And
that.
yeah, because she didn't get that. And
Now,
so
I should clarify
yeah.
something right now, because it just dawned on me that people might take this as that I might think that, like, in certain eras I might be like a champion. I'm not saying that, guy. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like, I'm out of me today. I was in my prime. I'm not saying that, guys. Pump the brakes.
Oh, man.
Right?
All right. So, but again, so Brenda Hund, Brenda Lee is my competitor of the week. Yours is Jessica Robeson. So 2 DMV people.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to go that route. I didn't think you were going to go
I
the
flipped
same
it.
area, but that's pretty dope.
I flipped it.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so as we finish up, do we want to let people know what kind of craziness we have coming next week?
Oh, my goodness.
Did you just
Buckle
forget?
up.
Yes.
No, I didn't forget. Buckle up. All right. We've had some of the greatest guests on the show. I love having guests on the show.
Yes,
all right?
Me too. Lots of fun.
Because Jeff, when we have guests on the show, I get to sit back, man.
Right.
I get to say I don't have to talk that much.
Correct.
All right. And that's saying a lot, because I still talk a decent amount, right?
Yes.
So this one's gonna talk way more than me. All right. We've had Arya Daivari. We didn't even really mention the Arya show.
It was a great one, man. I loved it. I listened to it twice
Arya
as well.
show
Yeah.
3 times.
Oh, wow.
After we did it. And
it was great.
And each time I'm like, wow, this is a dang good show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know who we're talking about Arya Daivari, the WWE Cruiserweight.
Yes.
And if you don't know, follow him on Instagram or Facebook.
And listen to our pod, man.
Listen to our last pod.
You learn a lot about him and how his martial arts influence took him to that next level. So I'm excited to see that.
Exactly where he goes with that.
Yep.
What pod was that? Let me.
It was last week, bud.
It was episode 44.
Okay,
episode 44.
Yeah.
All
right. So, anyways, let's go. We got people like who is it? Who is it? Are you ready?
It's Jerry
Fontanez.
Fontanez.
Oh my God.
Right. So Jerry Fontanez is going to be a fantastic interview. I know you're still trying to pick your job off the floor after hearing that we're going to have Jerry Fontanez on the show for an hour and a half plus. I understand that. So we're going to try to keep it down. Jeff's going to do his best to put the reins on me and Jerry.
Yes.
But get ready for the fireworks on this one. I am
going to be
stoked.
Fun. Yes.
I really am.
So it's going to be exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed our episode today. We had some fun just sharing some summer stuff, a little summer karate stuff.
Yeah, that's what we're in right now, man.
And kind of complaining a little bit about the Korean rules and kind of the whole we went all over about forms, starting with the Korean. So it was pretty cool.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So
this has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.